Hello and welcome to Talking Good Game. It's just finished Aston Villa 4, West Ham 1. This was pathetic. This was really bad from us. Now, let me just start with a disclaimer because I know what the comments are going to say. I know we've had a good start to the season. I'm not discussing the start to the season. I'm going to be discussing the 90 minutes that we just witnessed at Villa Park and nothing but the 90 minutes we've just witnessed at Villa Park. But that was pathetic from us. It was really poor. There were some positives in the first half, not loads, but I thought there was some. But the second half was just dreadful from us. We've just got absolutely schooled by Aston Villa. Moyes has just been battered by Unai Emery. Not literally, tactically just destroyed by Emery. Not that many players had a good game for West Ham today. I think there was one or two in particular had positive games. Some good bits from certain players, but all by and large, that was a really poor performance from West Ham. Aston Villa thoroughly deserved it. I don't think the 4-1 is an unfair reflection of the game either. Sometimes these games can get run away a little bit and the scoreline becomes a little bit inflated because of certain teams giving up or whatever. Not today, actually. I think 4-1 was possibly a fair result, actually. And that's what's really disappointing because now let me put in another. Villa are a fantastic side. They're really good at home. They have been for some time now. Emery's obviously doing wonders at Villa Park, and I think they're going to do well. We've covered this in the preview. But if we want to compete, if we want to European football next season, this type of game where we don't have to win, but we have to be competitive. It has to be even. We have to feel like we are on Villa's level. But it didn't feel like that today. The league table will suggest we're not that far behind Villa in terms of quality. Maybe over 38 games we shan't be. But over 90 minutes, we were a million miles away from them. Anyway, let's talk about the first half then. We were 1-0 down at half time. Doulas Luiz with a goal. I mean, I didn't realise he was in such good goals going for him, but then he is the penalty taker. And when Villa play like they do, they're going to pick up a lot of penalties. But really good goal by him. We just got pulled apart. It's one of them. I'm not just saying this. I do need to see it again. Because at halftime, I go on to watch along with Charlie, so I don't get to see the replays at halftime. So I'd only seen the goal back a couple of times in real time. And I'm interested in seeing where Alvarez was. It felt like he wasn't in the middle of the pitch. But that ball that cut us open and got Zaniolo in play and Diaby in play in around our 18-yard, it was on the whole game. We didn't cut it out. We didn't know what to do. Villa were just cutting through us. I love the ball into the middle of the park. Come down the left, cuts it back to Watkins. He lays off Doulas Luiz. Should Arvila be doing better? I don't know. It feels like he should be, but when you watch it back and it takes a nick off again, I do think it's completely just taking Arvila out of it. I think I'm not going to blame Arvila too much. I find it hard to blame a goalkeeper he's gone on. He perhaps should have done better for a couple of goals later on, but at this point, he made an outstanding save from Doulas Luiz. He went on to make a really good save from Watkins in the first half. So I struggle to blame Arvila per se. We just got cut apart for the goal. And it wasn't just the first time. I thought we started quite well in the first 10 minutes. That was quite end-to-end. I think we finished the first half quite strong. The last 10, 15 minutes of the first half was strong. But the middle 25 minutes, it was all Aston Villa. We couldn't get near them. They were just all over us. They were threading that through ball in the middle of the pitch constantly. And we just didn't have an answer for it whatsoever. It was almost like we didn't realise how Zaniolo and Diaby are going to play, despite them constantly playing like this season, them in there trying to come in off the sides. So that was a big frustration from me because we just played into Villa's hands a little bit. Well, how do you want to play? You want to get those two players? Okay, well, here you go. Here's the third ball. Antonio, I mean, I was going to leave it to the end, but I can't discuss the first half and not discuss Mikel Antonio. That was one of the worst 45 minutes I've seen from him. He was dreadful. He was actually a hindrance. He wasn't even like, sometimes we'll joke and say, he's a really good player for Aston Villa today. It's not really a joking, is it? But he was genuinely a hindrance to us in the first half. It got to the point, by the end of the first half, Ward-Prowse was breaking. Antonio was on the left. He was wide open. It was the only ball on for Ward-Prowse, but I was generally hoping he wouldn't pass it to him. It was that bad. And when he did, normally I'd go, oh, come on, we've got a chance. We've got an opportunity here. I'd hope for something. Even when the ball was coming down the right-hand side, Sufal was a bit wasteful at times, Steve, but every time he got it in first, I thought, here we go, something might come from it. When it got to Antonio, at the end, I'd given up. He'd hit the side netting, so my lack of excitement was justified. He was terrible. He was genuinely dreadful in the first half. Some of it wasn't just one thing. It wasn't like he was being physically bullied. He was getting the ball in good positions. His runs were good. There was nothing wrong with the runs he was making. But every time he got the ball, either the decision making was poor or the execution was poor, or sometimes both. Sometimes he'd do the wrong thing and the execution was poor as well. He was genuinely breaking down our attacks. Because I thought in the first half, I thought we were onto something a little bit with that ball over the top. I thought it was causing Villa some problems. Thought we were getting into some good positions for creating something. We just weren't creating anything, usually because of Antonio. But I thought there was some positives to take from our performance in the first half in regards to how we were going about it. Like I said, I thought Villa were a better team by and large, but I thought there was stuff there that I thought, here we go, we can do something with this. Went in 1-0 at half-time, and then I thought, well, it's not been ideal, but it's only a goal. We've got one player that's atrocious in the first half. There's an obvious substitution here. I thought Souček was anonymous. I didn't think he was doing anything wrong, but he just was doing nothing right. Defensively, he wasn't involved. Offensively, he wasn't involved. He was just in no man's land. He wasn't contributing to either end of the pitch. He just wasn't there. It was almost pointless having Souček on the pitch in the first half. So there's two players. It's quite obvious, quite easy substitutions. As soon as I see no subs at halftime, I'll be honest with you, as soon as I seen Antonio come out for the second half, I thought, well, we've had it. It's only 1-0. It's done. We can't play. He was contributing nothing. Absolutely nothing. It only took 7 minutes in the second half. Now, this has nothing to do with Antonio. It's not Antonio's fault we conceded 4 goals. Let me make that clear. It's his fault that we struggled to score or create anything up the other end of the pitch. But the second goal, Doulas Luiz from the penalty spot, well, this one's on Paqueta, isn't it? I mean, he's done it. He's always done it. He's always going to do it. He did it at Lyon. He tries things on the edge of the box when he's not supposed to. This one, albeit, is out the side of the box. Poor back pass to Alvarez. Konsa nicks in. Clumsy from Alvarez. Panics. Don't blame Alvarez. I blame Paqueta for that one. Good penalty from Doulas Luiz. And at 2-0, you think that's it. You think, well, it's 52 minutes gone. Game over. Then Jarrod Bowen brought it back 4 minutes later. We're back in the game. Very lucky deflection. Don't care. Their first goal had a lucky deflection. You make your own luck sometimes. Cuts inside, hits it. You'd imagine without the defender there, it's a comfortable save for Martinez. But takes the wicked deflection into the far corner. We go, game on. Here we go. Well, I think we see the reaction for about all of 5 minutes. There wasn't much there from us. We had plenty of corners. We're starting to rack up the corners. The set pieces the deliveries were all right. I just thought they were well defended by Aston Villa, whether it was Watkins, whether it was Konsa, whether Martinez was coming out and laying on the floor. And he does what Martinez does. He's killing the game. But I didn't really feel like we were going to get back into it. Even at 2-1, I didn't have much optimism. 74 minutes. This is a fantastic goal from Watkins. John McGinn releases him one-on-one with Zuma. I don't know if Zuma does anything wrong, to be honest with you. He's trying to stop him getting him onto his right foot, forces him onto his left foot, but Watkins doesn't mind that. Great finish from him. Areola might feel a bit disappointed to be beaten at his front post, should probably feel a bit disappointed, but I'd given up at this point, truth be told. I had given up. I wasn't happy with what I was seeing from us. I didn't feel there was much energy from us. I didn't feel that there was much, intent, much belief. I think I had very little belief. I thought I was seeing very little belief. Tactically, we were all over the gap. Paqueta had now moved at this point. Kudus was playing on the left. Antonio was still on the park. It was just a bit of a shambles. Anyway, they made it 4-1. Bailey, I'm not even going to talk about it. The game was the boys had given up. After 3-1, they'd given up. I'm surprised it was 5-6-1 Villa. They probably could have. But 2 substitutes for Villa linking up at the end there. Tielemans and Bailey making it 4-1. Gerrard's. Anyway, I'm trying to remain calm for this one because I think I'm just incredibly disappointed with this actually, because today was a big test. Before the Freiburg game, I said the next three games, Freiburg, Newcastle, Villa, that's the barometer. Let's see where we're at. Well, we cruised, we were comfortable against Freiburg, got the win, 2 wins out of 2 in Europe. Let's go, here we go. Got a draw against Newcastle. For large periods, we were poor. Kudus came on, produced a little bit of magic. We got the draw. Good point. Moving on to Villa. Let's see what we've got. Well, that's the answer. My disappointment is that this is no surprise. None. what I'm referring to is this. It's not necessarily getting beat 4-1 by Villa. I didn't think we'd get beat this badly. Villa winning is not Villa beating us is not a surprise. Villa beating us isn't going to mould the rest of our season. This game does not decide what we go on to do for the rest of the season. Should we miss out on European football by a point? It might be one of them you look back and think maybe. Villa Park is a very, very difficult place to go. There'll be better teams that play Aston Villa and get beat there. This season, there'll be better teams than us that lose to Villa. They're a fantastic side, great manager, superb form, players are in brilliant form as well. They know what they're doing. They play good football. Right, there's the plaudits. But the disappointment for me, and what I was referring to when I said this, is Michail Antonio starting. When he's come back from international duty with Jamaica previously, he's been poor. He's been fatigued. He's been poor. His performances haven't been there. And we've covered this. We've covered this on this channel in the preview. It's not just us. There's loads of people in this. When I say people, I refer to the Hammers Chat subscribers. I'm not speaking on behalf of West Ham fans. I'm not speaking about those in the way end or on social media. Just the Hammers Chat subscribers. I read the Hammers Chat subscribers' comments. So when I refer to people's comments, that's who I'm referring to. It's a small pool of West Ham fans. But in the preview, loads of people were saying the same thing. Antonio can't start. He just can't do it. So that performance from Antonio today comes as no surprise to the majority of the Hammers Chat subscribers. It is incredibly frustrating that the manager went with it. Now, I can accept reluctantly. I find it quite easy to put what I want to one side and look at what Moyes does and why Moyes does it. I find it quite easy to separate the two. So I wanted to Kudus to start over Antonio. Antonio started fine. Let me separate that. Let me put what I wanted to one side. Why is he started? Oh, I get it. I get why Moyes has gone with Antonio. That's the man. That's been his man for a few seasons now. That's the guy that makes us work up front. He occupies defenders, causes bother. Bowen loves playing alongside him. He uses the space well. I get why Moyes started with him. I don't agree with it, but I get it. But what I cannot accept is leaving him on for the second half. I just cannot accept it at all. If that performance in the first 45 isn't worthy of being substituted, I don't know what could I... What does he have to do? Score an own goal? I don't know what else he could have done to get taken off the pitch. I say unforgivable for Moyes. That is on Moyes. The decision to start Antonio is on him, but the decision, which is greater, to leave him on the pitch, that one is definitely with the manager. And has it cost us the game? No, we conceded 4 goals. But I'll tell you what, it cost us the first half. Antonio's starting cost us the first half. That was end-to-end. We had plenty opportunities to create something, and most of the attacks broke down with him up front. Change it for the second half. He did nothing. He did absolutely nothing. What was working for Villa in the first half continued working. The midfield was losing out. Souček, Ward-Prowse, Alvarez, they were being dominated by McGinn, Kamara and Luiz. That continued in the second half as well. One-way traffic. Too many players, though, were poor today. I thought Soufal, he wasn't one of the worst ones. I thought Zuma was pretty poor. Aguirre was pretty poor. I thought Emerson had a good game. Alvarez, positioning for the first goal is where my big question mark is. Ward-Prowse, average. Souček, anonymous. I thought Bowen played well. I thought he was one of him and Emerson were the two that I thought had good games throughout the 90 minutes. Emerson picking up a yellow card, of course, suspended for next weekend. So that's a bit of a blow. Paqueta, I thought he was looking good in spells in first half. Second half, nothing from him at all. Just nothing. We did do something. It contributed to Villa winning a penalty. Antonio was dreadful. Kudus came on, tried hard, but didn't really impact the game at all, did he? But he tried, I guess. But bad from us. Our worst performance this season by a mile, which is a good thing. You know, we've set the bar quite high, but that was really, really bad. I'm just trying to remind myself it's Aston Villa. They're a damn good side. They are. But we've got a nice set of fixtures coming up on paper where we can accrue some points and hopefully put ourselves in a really good position going into that sort of Christmas period where we could get a little bit hopeful. And I have been hopeful. This season, I've enjoyed it. I thought the first 10 minutes of the first half, I thought we were knocking the ball about quite well. I was like, here we go. We're going up to Villa with a little bit of swagger about us. I mean, it lasted 10 minutes and that was it. So I'm not going to let this performance dent my hopes too much. But I think it's a reminder. I think that there's still a lot to do. And the manager still relies on Antonio, even though he shouldn't. He still relies on him. And I think I'm more disappointed today about the inclusion of Antonio than I am about the losing to Aston Villa. I know that shouldn't happen. I know people are going to say I'm wrong to do that, etc. And I get it. But it's the truth, because I think I can take losing to Villa. I can take that for the reasons I've said. But what I struggle to do is accept Antonio just playing regardless of his form, regardless of fatigue, regardless of his performance after 45 minutes. That's what I struggle to take, because going into next week against Everton, we can still win. I can still get hopeful. I can get rid of this. We play Olympiacos on Thursday. I could probably get over the defeat to Villa pretty quickly. But it's getting over the worry, maybe, that Moyes will continue to rely on Antonio regardless. That's not going away anytime soon. It's a problem. It's becoming a problem. When Antonio's playing well, obviously it's not. But anyway, I feel like I'm just blaming all this on Antonio. That's maybe a bad thing to do. But it's on Moyes, though. It's not just on Antonio. It's on Moyes for playing him, but not subbing him. Not subbing him is the biggest issue for me here. But anyway, I'm going to shut up. I'm going to go chill out. I don't know what I'm going to go. Maybe watch a movie or something. But at one end of the pitch, you've got a top class striker in Ollie Watkins. At the other end, we had Antonio. And the difference in class is incredible. And I'm a bit biased because big Ollie Watkins fan. Anyway, hopefully we can get back to winning ways next week. But that was a bit of a. It's brought me back down to it. Maybe I was getting carried away. Maybe I was. I'm not going to apologise for that. I think as a football fan, if you don't have hope, if you don't have a dream, then what's the point? Right? That's what I want from football. I want permission to dream, and that for me is European football, winning a trophy. I've seen when I did the video the other week about how the top 8 will likely be European football this season. 8th you might get it, should get it. And people say, "Right, what are you doing going for 8?" I mean, I actually got called negative for saying that 8th would be good and that we should be going for. I mean, I couldn't believe it. I got negative for thinking that we'll finish 8th. I thought that was quite a good, positive thing. Never mind. But anyway, my point was the people in the comment section saying, "I think we could get 5th. I think we could get 5th." I loved it. I don't buy into it. I don't agree. But I love the fact that people had that hope, had that dream. Well, I think they're going to got brought down to earth a bit harder than I did today. Not good. Bad from us, from right to left, from back to front, in the dugout. Bad from West Ham today. Not too many positives. Emerson and Bowen were the 2 positives for me. I normally do man of the match Bowen, I guess, but got an issue called Mikel Antonio. We've got an issue. David Moyes' blindness when it comes to Mikel Antonio. It needs fixed up. It needs fixed. Anyway, I'm going to disappear. If you somehow enjoyed this review, please do drop a like on it by clicking thumbs up. It genuinely helps the channel out. Subscribe if you're new to Hammers Chat. That also helps the channel out. And yeah, it makes me feel good. If we've got an app, which is like a back end of YouTube. You've got the YouTube app. There's another one called Studio. You go on there, you see all your figures and the analytics to YouTube. And I go on there and refresh it or reply to some comments to see the subscriber count go up or see more people have liked the video. It generally gives me a morale boost. It generally motivates me from day to day. So thank you very much to people that do drop likes on the videos. It means a lot. I'll catch up with you tomorrow where I'll probably have a calmer chat about today's game. But Moyes and Antonio, this needs to stop.